So thank you for joining us for Women Who Lead and this special episode celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. And you're not going to believe it, but I'm actually in Kona, Hawaii, and I forgot my Women Who Lead mug. But I am here with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services at Summit, and I'm so excited to shine today the spotlight on three powerhouse Latinas. My name is Teresa Palacios Smith, and I'm Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer for Home Services of America and Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. And this show is about sitting down con un cafecito and learning from visionary women who embody the spirit of determination, innovation, and leadership. So get ready to be inspired by their stories, accomplishments, and their unwavering strength to make a difference. So join me today in welcoming to the show our powerhouse Latinas. You see them right here on the screen. I'm so proud to have you all on the show. And with me today is Erika Carrasco. And Erika is an award-winning realtor with Intero Real Estate and consistently ranks as a top producer in the Santa Clara Valley area. She's also been named as one of the top 250 realtors by the National Association of Real Estate Professionals, NAREP. And you're going to see that same little stream from NAREP of all these individuals that are on the call today because they're all NAREP top 250 winners. Erika hosts a weekly radio talk show called Querer es Poder. I love that. Named after her personal motto, where there's a will, there's a way. As an immigrant from Mexico, Erika is proud of her heritage and has closed more than 1,000 transactions, focusing both on first-time homebuyers to the experienced investor, but always with a lens on helping create wealth for her community. So bienvenida, Erika, to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you guys, Teresa.
Thank you, Erika. So Magda Esola. Magda is Vice President of Sales for Brookline Homes, located in the heart of Charlotte, North Carolina. As a veteran in new construction, Magda is a two-time Super Nova winner for the North Carolina Builder Association of Charlotte. Magda has also been recognized by the NAREP Top 250 Latina agent for the past, I think, 5 years, Magda, right?
That's
and
right.
Most recently, she was named as the #1 top producer for the North Carolina ARIA organization, and she's also listed in the 1.5% by Real Trends America. That's so impressive. Magda is proud to serve her community as well and is past president of the Charlotte NAREP chapter, where I actually met Magda for the first time, and is also the 2023 chair for the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee for the North Carolina Realtors. She serves on the board of directors at the Canopy Association of Realtors, but she's also running for president-elect for the 2024 position at Canopy, so making her the first Latina running for this position. And I'm going to say the first Latina in over 100 years to take on that role. Magda's purpose in life is to change people's lives and to leave a world a better place than she found it. First of all, I love all of y'all's missions and your mottos. And so it's great to have you on the show, Magda. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Teresa, for having me. It's a pleasure.
And now Rebecca Hidalgo Reigns. Rebecca is associate broker for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Arizona Properties, and manages the Integrity All-Star team. She has over 30 years of experience and began her career working with her family, representing the Hispanic community with the purchase of HUD and VA homes. She then transitioned to new construction, where she worked for Sequoia Homes and Trent Homes and was promoted to the position of general manager in 2005. But in 2007, she returned to her roots and helped many families during the foreclosure crisis through short sales. Rebecca has been featured on Channel 3 News, HGTV's House Hunters, which I love, and has won countless awards in her more than a quarter decade of servicing the Arizona real estate market. Most notably, she's been named the #1 Latina agent in Arizona by NAREP, as well as the #1 BRIA agent in the Southeast Valley. She's considered an expert in her industry and truly loves helping families with the biggest investment of their lives. She also hosts the Grateful Heart Show. First of all, I love that title, and podcast which was started as a way to educate her clients on the real estate market. But she's going to actually share with us how much more that show has evolved into since she began its broadcast. So welcome, Rebecca, to the show as well.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here with you, Teresa, and all these beautiful women. It's just a pleasure to share.
So I really am excited to get started. So the first question that I asked our powerhouse Latinas is, tell me what prompted you to get into real estate? How did you begin in this career? Was it by choice or by chance? And that's something I'm always interested in learning. So Magda, I'm going to start with you. Tell me how you got into real estate.
I got into real estate 22 years ago, inspired by an ad in the paper. I was an administrator assistant, and on a Saturday, doing an overtime, open the paper, and the paper says, are you a person that is aspiring for unlimited income potential? That caught my eye. And so with that, I went to a class that this real estate company was offering for people that were interested in the business, attended the class, and by the lady that was giving the class, and she talked about the income potential, the way of changing people's life. I got inspired, and that same day, I ended up signing up for the class, joined Keller Williams after I got my license on the first attempt. It is my understanding that a lot of people have challenges getting their license, but I didn't. I was so excited. I am a reader, so you can see that in my background, and got my license, joined Keller Williams. And when I joined Keller Williams, I used to make my income at that time was before I started in real estate, $40,000. And my team leader asked me how much money I like to make in the industry. And coming from a $40,000 income, I said, well, I'm going to double it. I said 80,000. And when he looked at me, he said, Magda, you just have been licensed to have an unlimited income potential. You have been given a license by the state of New Jersey. I was back in New Jersey. So he basically set my goal, and he said, I'm going to put you at $200,000. I had at that time a child at 5 years old, and I was pregnant, and I was doing this as a part-time job. So to make the story short, I ended up working 10 hours a week. My first full-time year, I ended up making about $175,000 to $180,000. So that's how I started, out of the paper, inspired by a human being. I think we are all gifts, and we are here to inspire people. So that's how I started.
And I love that story where you just the agent was talking about how it had empowered her life, and that you realized, oh, it can empower mine. Rebecca, how about you? I got you with your un cafecito, right?
So mine wasn't that story. My story was more about child labor. My dad loved child labor, and being Hispanic, most of us, can relate to that. So we all did our part. At the age of 18, he started calling me, wanting me to get my real estate license, as he had employed the rest of my siblings, and I'm the baby of the family. I'm like, yeah, no, thanks, Dad. A year later, I was working as a receptionist in a law firm. I had dreams to maybe be a lawyer, and I got tired of the guy down the hall screaming, "Girl!" And so I called my dad. I'm like, all right, Dad, what do I need to do? And I never looked back. I worked with my family a handful of years, and once I got out of college, I went and worked directly for the builders in my area, and really, I've enjoyed every ride of every season in our industry, because it is always evolving, and it's been a blast. I can't believe it's already been 30 years that I've been doing this.
So you're second generation a realtor. Your parents were realtors as well.
My dad was, yeah. He came over from Veracruz, Mexico, and I was born in Mexico City, but never grew up in Mexico. When he got out here, he had a passion for cooking. He had many restaurants, and the economy was really tough in the late 80s. He lost his restaurant. A friend of him turned him on to real estate. And then from there, me and the rest of my family kind of got sucked into it, from being a lender or a realtor or some form of it. And most of us are still in the industry today.
I love it. And Christy Budnick, who is the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, shared that similar story about her mother, saying, okay, at age 8, she's putting signs out and that was part of our industry as well. And so, Erika, tell me about how you got into real estate.
My goodness, very similar to Magda. So I was an assistant for a realtor. I was helping her, assisting paperwork. And I realized right away that I was something that I wanted to do. I love real estate, and I knew that I have to master this career. So being an assistant, coming from nothing to being a realtor. And the first year, actually no year, probably since April to December, after being an assistant, I made $600,000. So I was very shocked. I never expect that I was going to make that much money back then. And this was in 2006.
I love that story, right? You realize the opportunity that help, but you're really doing more than that. You're really helping families with that American dream of home ownership. So one of the things that that I love is sharing a little bit of your immigrant story, and because all three of you are first generation immigrants. But I'm going to start with you, Magda. If you can just share how you came to just a little bit about that story, because it's such a beautiful, beautiful story.
Thank you, Teresa. So, as many of us immigrants, not all of us, but a lot of us, I came to this country when I was 18 and a half and came via Rio Grande. I came undocumented and with nothing in my pocket, literally nothing in my pockets, other than hopes and dreams that if I have good work ethics and I do what I'm supposed to do, the American dream is achievable. And today I sit in front of these beautiful ladies proudly telling you that I am the embodiment of the American dream. So I crossed the Rio Grande, came through Mexico, ended up living in New Jersey about 15 years. I currently live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and came with nothing. So my first job, I was making $2 an hour. But I through work and perseverance and I got where I am, and through help from others, because nobody succeeds alone. We all are where we are because of other people have helped us, put us in where we are. I hear a lot people saying self-made millionaire. I don't believe in that term. I believe that we are where we are because we stand in the shoulders of thousands of people that have become before us. So it's been a great journey for me, and I'm very, very grateful to be in this country.
And I love that. You're gonna make me cry, because I love the fact that you recognize, right, that there are others that gave you so much, and you shared that with me, and I just love that part. And you're originally family's from Nicaragua, just so people, because I don't know that everyone knows that. And so how about you, Erika? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, I was the first generation pretty much here in the US. I came into this country because I got married, and my husband introduces me to the greatest things I can ever imagine. First of all, to be part of here, the United States. So that was why I came in here. It was because I got married. And then he pushes me, my husband pushes me to the highest level to how to achieve my goals. He pushes me on the language first. You gotta go to school, you gotta educate it. After that, and the school, I meet the realtor, and at that point, I was assisting her. And at that point, it was when I started getting my real estate license, that I passed it at the first time, like Magda did. And that's how I got here to this country, because I got married and I was very young. I was 19 years old.
Wow, I love hearing that story too, Erika, and how you actually, and your husband, like, Magda, you were saying there's others that really kind of elevate you, and he's always been the wind beneath your wings. And how about you, Rebecca? We're going to talk about you a little bit in a different scope, because you already talked about your parents, but you've done a little bit in that you are you have worked so much with the Latino community, and that's how you started your career. Why was that important to you? And also, you said something that I thought was really nice to hear, is that you actually learned Spanish after, right?
Yeah, so my story is like almost the reverse, because while I was born in Mexico City, my parents divorced when I wasn't even a year old. So my mom moved me to San Francisco to live with my grandparents, and she's not Hispanic. So I was raised by my Caucasian grandparents. And when I moved to Arizona as a teen with my dad, I couldn't even talk to my grandparents. It was like, hola, and that was about as much as I had in me. And it was terrible. And so that same year, when I was barely 19 going to ASU, I switched from architecture school, thinking about law school, and then I went to Spanish. And it was the smartest thing that I've ever done, because obviously, ladies, we all know in real estate, if you can be bilingual, that's a tremendous. But when my dad sucked me in, and as I said, I was helping all of his clients, and his clients were purely Hispanic. He would go on the weekly radio shows, and it allowed me to actually practice and learn the vocabulary in real estate, because that's a whole other thing that you don't learn in college, right? And eventually, it really did help me become bilingual. Sometimes people tell me I speak chistosista, a little bit funny sometimes, or, ask me where I picked it up. But what it really did do for me, though, is appreciate and really want to help out my community, in the sense that, to me, the biggest crisis we're facing today is affordability. And it kills me that I have so many clients that today cannot compete to get a house, cannot afford to get a house. And all of that started by helping all those folks in the very beginning, picking up foreclosure properties. That was where my roots started. It's where my roots have returned. And I'm continually coming back to how I can help others achieve that dream that Magda wears so proudly. Like, that is so cool. You really are the epitome of the American dream. And I believe wholeheartedly that everybody, if they work hard, should be able to own their own home and not pay somebody else's mortgage. And that is something that we definitely combined together can do something about.
I think you are so right. And I absolutely agree 100%, because that really is, they keep talking about, oh, it's no longer that dream because it's, impossible to reach. And I think it's never impossible, because the fact that impossible has that possible in it makes it right.
Right.
For all of us. That's right. It's possible. Right. So, each of you has a unique area of expertise. You all kind of focus in different areas. And I want to know why you love what you're doing. And also, what has been the most, exciting part of your journey and rewarding part of your journey. And I'll start with you, Erika.
Sales is my number one. Since I remember, I love sales. I'm coming from, my background, it is from sales since I was little. I raised on my family that my dad always was in sales. So it is my expertise. Now, my rewarding part is when I give, every time that I give the keys for a family, that is my, that's my happiness. And I'm looking towards that day when I close the deal, more than my check at this point. Because they're so excited, they're so happy. And I remember when we purchased our first house, it was a dream. And I know the American dream still can come true if we really do whatever it takes to make it happen.
I agree 100%. And it is the Latino dream. A lot of people don't realize that owning a home is very not always possible in other parts of the world. And so when you come here, that's su casa is where everything starts, where our families are formed, when memories are made. So it's such an important part of our culture, which is, Erika, when those keys are handed over. I love that. It's so true. Magda, tell me a little bit about you and what you love about what you're doing.
Thank you, Teresa. For me, I am in new construction. I have been in new construction for the past 17 years. I started my career in general brokerage, but when I moved from New Jersey to Charlotte, North Carolina, I started working for builders. So for me, is two things. One, selling the dream. Because I sell, I used to sell, now I'm in leadership, but I used to sell out of a plat map and blueprints. So finding the why are people moving? Not the what are they moving to, but where are they coming from and the why. So when they used to share their family stories and the reason why they were moving, and I matching them to the perfect floor plan and piece of land. To me, that was, oh my God, we found the home. And then being in contact with the customer for 7 months during the build time, building that relationship, and then the culmination of the home when it's built and the final walkthrough. And the wow and the eyes opening of my customers and the excitement. And when they bring their family and friends and show them what they have purchased, to me, like Erika said, is better than the paycheck. It's incredible. The feeling of gratitude that you receive from customers is just, oh my God, it's the most rewarding thing for me.
So true. You're leaving me breathless. Okay. Rebecca, how about you?
Well, I'll just segue right into that whole gratitude thing. My podcast is called gratefulheart.tv. And I started it back in 2019 as a result of me wanting to give back and wanting to educate and wanting, to just share my knowledge. After now 30 years in this industry, I feel like I have a lot to give back. And between, the short sale era, the foreclosure era, all my construction background, like you, Magda, it's the best. I love standing at a plat table. You run them out to the lot, you pick out their dirt, and you're part of that dream, the birthing of their baby, if you will, in the construction process. And it's so much fun and so rewarding. I will say where I find myself today, I actually think my podcast is one of the best and most brilliant things I've done in my entire career because of the doors it's opened and the connections it's allowed me to make. I am currently working really hard. I'm outside of my own hometown right now. I'm from Arizona and in Arkansas, building my first model prototypes for sustainable homes that I believe I can bring to market more affordably. And what I'm really hoping to do is allow my buyers to use sweat equity to help build and paint them so they can earn their down payment. I have history of that with previous builders I've worked for. And again, it's my passion to give back at this stage in my career because I've been so blessed and I'm so grateful for all the help I've had along the way. And what is so cool is every time I open up my mouth, there's somebody else who's raising their hand wanting to jump on this train. And there's no shortage of people out there that want to help others achieve that dream of homeownership. And it's really satisfying. And I truly am grateful to even be on here today to share this with you guys.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for sharing that. So true. And that broadcast has actually also led you to even the venture where you are and talk about that, the new construction and building that you are building. Yeah.
So my colleague actually saw one of my episodes and he's from Arkansas. So it's so funny. Teresa, you're over there in Hawaii right now for our summit. And my daughter's there. And I remember I used to joke when she left home for college, I'm like, well, at least she didn't go to some godforsaken place like Arkansas. And here I'm sitting here with land that I own now in Arkansas, which, you got to love God and his humor. So here I am. And it was all because he watched an episode. So during COVID, ladies, I'm sure, I'm not the only one who was aware that the cost of goods went up skyrocketing, especially in the construction industry, and the cost of wood like quadrupled. Magda, this is your world too, so you know really well. And how long, we went from a 7-month build time to 18 months in some situations, because of the supply chain issues. And during that era, I lost countless clients who just couldn't compete. They couldn't afford, they couldn't any of it. So it started this passion of mine of research. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. And there is a better way. And that is definitely the venture I'm starting out here. I'm building my first model homes out of magnesium oxide SIPS panels. And it is, in my opinion, a better way, but I have yet to prove it. So we're, building their first models. We're going to do all the testing. We're going to be doing all the marketing. And my hope is that I can bring these homes, not just to Arizona, but across the country one of these days. And it's really exciting. And the biggest thing is when I've done sweat equity in the past with other Hispanic clients, because some of my builders really focused on helping our Hispanic clients here in Arizona, they were so proud just to be a part of building their own home and to paint their own home and earn their down payment. So that is what I'm working on. And if I hadn't done, I did an episode, there was a product I was looking at using. It was called Sabscrete. It was foam construction. And my now partner just was doing research on the same company, reached out to me to get my thoughts. And next thing you know, 7 months later, I'm sitting in Arkansas.
I think that's a beautiful story, and it's the power of masterminding, the power of networking, and the power of making a difference and an impact, which obviously, Rebecca, we can see from you and the passion that you have just when you talk about it. And by the way, Arkansas is so beautiful. I lived there.
No, it is. I'm so wrong.
7 years, right? No, right. And you're like, wow. It's breathtaking. And so I just, I definitely want to come see you, and definitely for my Razorback fans, you got to go see a game because it's an amazing experience. Love it.
I already got my t-shirt, girl. I went and bought one last weekend.
You got your Razorbacks on, go Hogs. All right. So, and it's Pig Suey. I love everything about Arkansas. So Erika and Magda, just jump in. Any new ventures that you are involved in that you want to share? And
Well,
Magda,
for me, I just transitioned from being on the floor. I was on the floor for the past 21 years and took the leap of faith into stepping into the vice president of sales for Brookline Homes. So I've been in this position for the past 90 days. So I'm working on becoming the best possible vice president of sales for my people and be able to bring the best out of them. And we only get by giving. So the reason why I step into leadership was because I have achieved everything there is to achieve, from every kind of awards and recognition, but that doesn't do really anything other than for my own self and my family and the bank account, right? But it's not impacting the world. So I actually spoke to one of my mentors, and I said, I feel that I have achieved this ceiling of success. How do I break through this ceiling of success? What do I do? I am number one. What else there is to do? And then he told me, he said, you need to become a vice president of sales, so you start impacting other people's lives. So that's what I did. And I'm very, very grateful to Andy, my president, and Brookline Homes for taking a chance on me and giving me this opportunity, because now we are going to be building a team. We have a team, but we're going to make it bigger in building this team. And I want to have the best team ever. I want to become, like I was the number one vice president of sales, and be able to enrich people's life.
There's no doubt that you will be, right? We can all see it already. And I love that you're doing that, because you're imparting your wisdom and the passion that you have in others. And that's really what inspires other people. How about you, Erika?
Oh my goodness.
You got your daughter that's now being launched. You're in New York City right now. Aren't you in New York City right now?
No, I'm in California.
Okay.
Yes, I'm actually flying tomorrow to New York City.
Yeah.
What I'm working on, I want to have a podcast like Rebecca. So that's one of my next projects. And a second project is I want to start writing a book of pretty much my life, my career. How did I start becoming pretty much, the successful woman that I am, that I'm coming from nothing, literally, like Magda says, and to get the position that I am right now. So I'm working in those two projects. Also, I decided to do, because I have a radio show, like you mentioned at the beginning, Teresa. I've been doing the radio show for 17 years, probably or more. Wow. So I want to share what I've been learning for so long, and probably I can inspire other people like me, that if anything I can help them with, why not? So that's my two projects that I'm going to start working on.
I love that. And you are, like, you inspire people by who you are and by the fact that you have been able to accomplish so much, but by your, by sharing those tidbits with others. So we're going to pivot to leadership, because I really want to hear about, how because you all are leaders within our industry, within our real estate organizations. And so what have you been most proud of that you feel has, that in your career, and that has led you into the roles of leadership? And Rebecca, I'll start with you.
Wow. Well, in 30 years of doing this, I have to look back and think at those moments. And I actually just shared this story with a girlfriend of mine the other night. I kind of fell into leadership for a new home sales builder here in 2005, somewhat by accident. During 2005, Magda, you were selling on the floor too, I think, at the time. I had a wait list of I don't know how many people would come in and yell at me every day because I couldn't sell them a house. I had, contractors taking forever. Like everybody was just yelling at me. And it was a terrible, terrible place. Now in hindsight, I realized I was in the middle of should have been a divorce, but I waited a couple of years. Nonetheless, what happened was I quit the floor. And then within 3 months, my old builder got me back as a manager. But before he did, something really traumatic happened. And I truly believe that through adversity is where we really define who we are. And so I was in a sales meeting. I was probably 30 years old. I was pregnant with my daughter. Brand new to the floor at this company. I had just broken a bunch of records. I sold 34 homes in 1 month, closed 31 of them. Everybody on the sales floor hated me. Like I'm serious, they hated me. And so here we are at a sales meeting. Magda, you're laughing because you can picture this, right, girl? I'm sitting there in a sales meeting and I realized that I had gotten the assignment wrong that the boss had given us. And the guy in front of me who was presenting, I'm like sitting there going, oh, no, please don't call my name. Please don't call my name. They call my name. I'm pregnant. I'm stressing. I'm sweating. I hear my heartbeat in my ears. It's terrible. I'm stumbling through my words. You could hear a pin drop. I just wanted to crawl under that table and just hide, suck my thumb and go to bed. It was just terrible. So bad that like literally the boss said, okay, enough with this exercise. Let's move on. And then somebody came up to me afterwards and they're like, gosh, I was just hoping you just say your stomach hurt and you just sit down because it was that bad. Okay. So fast forward, now I do a podcast. So what happened was when I quit the floor, my boss calls me. He's like, you need to come back. You need to do this, kind of where the position Magda's in. You have a lot to share. You can train our other agents, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, no, did you see what happened? That means I'll have to talk in front of people. You saw what happened, And he encouraged me. And with that encouragement back in 2005, I started teaching at the School of Real Estate Contract Law, got over my fear of public speaking, went on to do Toastmasters, went on to compete with Toastmasters. And now, I actually get excited to talk on panels and on stages and do my podcast and all things. And P.S. Erika, the radio show, that's how I started too. And I just, because of COVID, switched it to video and there's my podcast. But I will tell you that I fell into it. I didn't necessarily want to. I didn't even believe I could. It was the belief of somebody else lifting me up and showing me the way. And then I faced the fear in spite of how scared I was. And I think truly that is what defines a leader, is that it doesn't mean that we're not afraid. Oh, heck yeah, we're all afraid all the time, but we do it anyways, right? And that to me is what truly has defined me and I didn't self-proclaim myself any leader, but people follow me and people ask me for help and people ask me to mentor them. And I'm happy to do that. And I think truly that is what a leader does.
I love that. I could not agree with you more. And what a beautiful story how you face, because a lot of us don't realize people look at you and think, oh, it was overnight success. You just, very different, right? Right. They look at you. Oh, yeah. She could do it because of this, and people don't realize all of us have that. And Rebecca, Christy Budnick shared that same fear of public speaking with us yesterday.
Did she really? I'm so sad I missed it.
Yes, she said and look at her, she's on stage in front of thousands of people.
Yes.
And she was like, I had to overcome it. I was totally scared. And she was on stage and I'm still scared, in front of everyone. So I think that's amazing and it's so true. How about any of you? Magda, how about you?
Yeah. So one of my mentors have said to me many years ago that the group will always choose the leader. And every single organization that I have worked for, including my $2 job that I had when I was 18 and a half, they chose me. And I think you have that spark, you have that ability to lead people, to consult with people, to, like I said, leave them better than you found them. And so when I started in real estate, right away, I volunteer my time with the local association as well as the state association. And I attended, and I am a graduate from the Leadership Academy locally and state level. I'm actually next year, I'm going to apply for NAR, the National Association of Realtors Leadership Academy. And that have enriched me. When you are in these organizations, you hang out with leaders. And when you hang out with leaders, whether you're one or not, you become one. Yeah. So I tell you that one of my proudest moments in my whole career is my past 5 years before coming into this new organization that I am. I spent almost 6 years in one neighborhood, almost 6 years. And it was a neighborhood with 700 homes that I sold the first home and I sold the last home. And for me, so proud to sell so many homes in that neighborhood. That was around 350 because we sold some of the land to other builders, but it's the economic impact that I was able to help not only the families, but also the businesses and the town where this neighborhood is. And with that, I earned all those awards behind me, that I was the first person for the Home Builder Association of Charlotte to earn the MAME Award, which is the Mayor Achievement Marketing Award. I got the 3 of them, which is like earning or winning the Tonys, the Emmys, and the Oscar at the same time. First and only person in over 50 years. So to me, it's like the culmination of my career. It's like, and that's when I decided, then now what? And that's how I end up coming into. I always said that I have always been a leader, because leaders don't need the title. Now I am a leader and I have the title.
I think that's wonderful. Erika, how about you?
Well, the best decision that I ever made is coming into the real estate and be able to help so many people that I meet new families every day. And that was my best decision. Now, another thing what should I change? Since I started real estate, I wish we have somebody that told us exactly what to do. Say, you know what, you gotta join into a coaching company. This is a guide that you need to follow. That way you can be a successful realtor. But in reality, we never got that. We have to make some mistakes, learning by yourself, and then find out and get to the right places. That way you can become successful. So my advice is for whoever wants to join in any part of the lives, Teresa, I think if you want to be healthy, hire a coach to be healthy. That way they can teach you how to do it. If you're in sports, hire a coach that they can help you how to be successful. And in real estate, I think that I hired a coach 4 or 5 years after I got into the real estate. So I gotta go through many hoops. And my biggest regret, it was not joining like a coaching company since day one. But I learned it, and I'm in coaching since many years. So I think that everybody needs accountability in any kind of job or anything that you want to be successful.
Oh, I think that's a great idea for so many people, because sometimes they are lost. And so to have people that they can be mentored by is an opportunity, right? And that's what coaching really kind of offers you, that, like you said, that accountability. As we pivot to, I want to talk about, because Magda really liked this question, what do you believe is your superpower? And so Magda, I'm going to start with you, and then Rebecca, and then Erika.
How much that is. I think a superpower is something that makes you unique. And my sister Pamela, she said that you have this sexy accent. So having an accent that for some people, I have heard a lot of my friends are immigrant and they don't like their accent. And I think having an accent is so beautiful because you are the only person that sounds like you. And being in sales, it makes you memorable. But other than that, I believe that is my authenticity. It is bringing all my Hispanidad with me when I come into a room. And by that, allowing others to show up in the world as they are. So bringing the light out of people, bringing the best out of them. I think I have that ability when people come down and they're down or depressed or sad and they have a conversation with me. They said, Magda, you let me see the world in a different light. Thank you. So I feel blessed to have that gift. So I believe that's my superpower.
Oh, I agree with you. I think that's definitely your superpower. And
It's
it's so true, right? Rebecca, how about you?
Well, I don't have the sexy accent that Magda has, so that's kind of
Yes,
hard
you
to
do.
follow. Honestly, though, and along the same genre, though, Magda, I know in years past, I've always been complimented on being real with people and my ability to communicate and touch people and connect with them. I'm not shy. I've never been accused of being shy. And obviously in sales, that's very important, right? So I'm sure that has probably been one of my number one attributes of my career. But I want to add on one thing, the tenacity. I'm stubborn as a bull. And if somebody tells me I can't do something, oh, darn you, I'm going to show you I can. And I think that's probably, coupled with my communication skills, really helped me achieve the success that I have in my career, because I don't give up. And if somebody tells me I can't do something, well, darn you, I'm going to show you how I can.
I love that because it's so honest, and so many of us, I think, have that in us, that, okay, just tell me that I can't do it. And that's just going to make me realize that I, want to get it done. And you're a natural born broadcaster, Rebecca. Absolutely. I could see that as your superpower, just that communication and ability to just, even the words that you use are amazing. So I just want you to know that. Erika, how about you?
Oh my goodness, for me is to never give up. I'm very driven on my personal goals, or any goal that I set. That is my biggest motivation. I don't like to give up in anything.
Your superpower is never give up. I think that's fantastic. Challenges. What challenges? Because we've all faced challenges, and like, it's not easy. We've had to pivot, and I know for Rebecca and Magdala, you and Erika, we've had to pivot in times of the real estate industry changes. And so what challenges have you faced, in your career that has actually helped you realize, I'm so glad I did this, because now I know that I can do something that I never thought I could. And I'll start with you, Erika.
Well, the challenges for me is getting adjusted to a different markets. I've been in the real estate for 17 years, and every time is something new. Interest rates, no enough inventory. So constantly we have to be adjusting into the market. And I think that is one of the biggest probably challenges that we face, especially there in the real estate. I mean, how to sell in a higher interest rate in this market, and especially if you want to keep helping people, when you see that they making a very good income and they couldn't qualify, you're like, what's going on? I mean, we're coming from a 2.875 rates right now, a 7.5 is like, that's a big challenge for me, first of all, to understand that, and then after to transfer that to the community, and especially our Hispanic community. They need so much education. They need so much guidance from us, from the professionals. So that's a huge challenge. The market conditions, market change constantly. So you have to keep moving. Every time you have to be in top of the market, pretty much.
It's so true. And I think what a lot of people say, well, when I bought my first home, the interest rate that I had was at 9%, right? And somebody will say, oh, mine was at 13.5%. So yeah, it's definitely achievable. But the difference is, and I think that's where our organizations like NAREP, like ARIA, like NAR really need to be lobbying and saying it impacts the affordability factor for those communities of color, the people that we serve, because now they have not, those interests have knocked them out of the opportunity to live that dream.
And especially, Teresa, that I see it here in the Bay Area. I'm in San Jose area. The Bay Area, the prices of affordability is so expensive here. You need 900,000 to buy a little house.
Yeah.
So we see so many people that they have to get out of the areas, commute, suffer because they cannot afford to live here. So, and we face a lot of challenges like that we have to really much, go through that every day and really teach our community what is the next expectations, what can they do to get better and eventually move back to the area where they belong into,
Thank you for sharing that. How about you, Magda?
Well, right now, I believe as Erika was saying, with the market changing and we being the expert, a lot of people call you and you're consulting. So it's the ability to stay motivated and inspired, because we're always giving and giving and giving and giving. And eventually you need to have a balance and find those people that will fill your cup, because we're always filling somebody else's cup. So the biggest challenges right now, as you are a giver, Teresa, and all these wonderful people on this panel are givers. So is finding that person or finding a group of people to fill your cup. And the biggest challenge that I myself find myself is, that motivation. I get up in the morning, the first thing my prayer is gracias. The first thing that I say when I open my eyes is gracias, thank you. That's my prayer, is living that, the attitude of gratitude, I say. But is not allowing the world suck the energy out of you, because if not, you won't be productive. So that could be challenging, and you have to be very mindful. You have to have total control of your mind. So especially right now in times of challenge.
Oh my God, I totally agree with that, because you have to have others that can inspire you and help you fill your cup back up, right? How about you, Rebecca?
I totally relate to what Magda just said as well. I just had that conversation. My girlfriend was here in Arkansas with me over the weekend, trying to help me get my project going. And we had that conversation about, finding others that help lift us up. One thing though, I do want to switch the mindset with the question, Teresa, with the attitude, with the challenge, because I personally love challenge. It's what motivates me, right? You tell me no, I tell you yes. And so when it comes to challenges, I'm going to tell you, during 2020, we all had some challenge, right about March, and we're all leaving Nashville for our, and yes. Next thing you know, and talk about challenge.
Shut down. Mm-hmm.
But that was actually my best year in my career as far as production level and as far as volume, right? So I hit numbers I never thought I would, but if you talked to me in March, I was drinking an awful lot of wine because of all the cancellations we had, right? So here I am, and I'm facing incredible challenges, just like all of us are in that time period. And what I realized is, if I don't, I actually got excited. Bidding wars. Oh my gosh, I could go win a bidding war, and my adrenaline was pumping. It actually motivated me in 2020. I created what was called my agent cheat sheet, and I was teaching all my agents how to win these bidding wars, and I enjoyed it. It got my adrenaline pumping. I was winning bidding wars, and that was fun. Where, other people maybe saw it as a challenge, I saw it as a challenge to conquer and to win. Now, mind you, in 2021, Teresa, I was calling Mark Stark crying in my cereal because even all the tricks I had up my sleeve wasn't winning houses at that point, unless they had 50 grand above cash. But I will say that, I look at challenge as a good word, not a bad word, and it does motivate me. So bring the challenge. I love it.
And Rebecca, I can see that you make challenges. You look at challenges as opportunities. There is
Yes,
no
of
doubt
course.
that you are living the Warren Buffett dream, because that's how he views the world. He views it that way. And there's no, I just can see that in you. So we're almost running out of time. Can you believe it? So I'm going to ask y'all just a real quick question. What advice would you have hoped that you had gotten or that you will gives others that had helped you in your business? And Erika, you kind of gave a little bit about that, but if you want to add on, that'd be great as well. And then Magda, and then Rebecca.
Well, allow yourself to be pushed to a higher levels. And just remember this, think big and never settle for nothing less that you don't want.
Oh,
And like we always say in español, querer es poder.
Mi papá siempre decía eso. Siempre. Right. So it's so common I think in our culture, in the Latino culture. Magda, how about you?
Real estate advice for agents. People have to realize that real estate is a contact sport. And we need to contact that CRM. Is the most neglected tool that we have in our hand is our CRM. And you have a gold mine in there. And unfortunately, it's neglected. So that's one thing for sure. And another thing is that you guys know we have 86,400 seconds a day. Yes. Every single day expire. And what you do with your time will determine the quality of your life. So be careful and be mindful of what you do with your time and who you spend your time with. Oh, that's my best advice.
Great advice.
Love it.
Love it.
Well, and I will say, I know that as I'm up next, Magda, you keep stealing my words, woman. I am all about the CRM. Like every time I mentor somebody, anytime I have a new agent, I'm like, guys, don't be lazy. And if you don't like doing it, hire somebody else to do it. You have to have a CRM and use it constantly, like you said, and be smart about staying in touch with your people, because in times of fear, they come to you. In times of joy, they come to you. You should be that resource in all times. And just staying in touch with your people is the number one way to stay in business. Amen.
And Alan Dalton was here, and for Rebecca, Alan Dalton, the famous Alan Dalton, and he talks about CRMs. It's your customer database.
Yes,
that's absolutely what it is. It's your customers. So that's how you got to connect with them and stay in touch. I love that advice from all of you, and Erika as well. So last comments, any words, books, quotes, and I love quotes. Everyone knows that you can share with our audience that can inspire them to move forward. And I'm going to start with Erika, Rebecca, and then Magda.
Well, Think and Grow Rich. I love that book. And my code, again, is in Espanol. I don't know how to say it in English because that doesn't sound really right. But querer es poder. When you really want something, you do it. But for you to doing it, you have to have a schedule. And you have to be committed in what you really want. That would be my final words.
Erika, beautiful. Rebecca.
My turn, right? Or was I last? I don't remember.
No, you're next. I don't want Magda to. Yeah.
You might have the same idea.
Okay. So that way, honestly, at the end of the day, I just think it's so important for all of us to remember we're all human. We all make mistakes. I still learn from every deal I do, even in year 30 of my career, because the market's constantly changing. Like, give yourself some grace, people. This has been the hardest 12 months of most people's careers. The production is way down, and realize we're all in this together. It's you can only do so much. Don't beat yourself up. But I will say self-care is not selfish. And the theme of filling up your own cup, whether you have people to fill it for you or not, you should be filling it yourself on a daily basis, whether it's with your own spirituality, whatever floats your boat, but fill your own cup up first and take care of your health, take care of your stamina, take care of yourself, because you can't take care of anybody else until you take care of yourself. So my thing is going to be graceful.
What a great advice. I love that. And I'm actually in Hawaii, as I said, and today's one of those days where I'm going to just before my flight, just take it easy to take care of myself. Got to take care of my family too. And Magda, we'll let you round it off.
Sure. So I believe that Think and Grow Rich, as Erika said, should be a requirement for every salesperson. But since she mentioned already the book, I will also suggest The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. That book, I have read it multiple times. It's about relearning and reprogramming yourself and your mindset. It's all about mindset. But one of my favorite quotes, and I learned this from my mentor, Lonnie Horton, he always used to tell me, and it's in my heart always, don't allow success get to your head, and do not allow failure get to your heart. Because sometimes we act, when we sell a lot of homes, we're all happy. We have fall throughs, we get depressed. So you cannot allow the exterior change or affect your being. You have to be, it's all about the mindset, right? When you have total control of your thoughts and emotion, you become an unshakable human being.
Oh, what a way to end the show. I really appreciate each and every one of you. This has been an amazing time that I've spent with all of you. So thank you for allowing me to learn from each of you. And thank you to our audience for being part of it. I found this great quote that I think describes each of you and what y'all are doing. And that is, leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking charge and taking care of those in your charge. I love that. And that's Simon Sinek. I think that's a great quote that just kind of really talks about each of you. I really want to thank you for participating on this panel. And I really did enjoy our conversations and our cafecito together. So thank you again for sharing those experiences. And thank you to our audience for watching live. And please join us on October 13th, right here on this channel. We're going to zoom in another panel of phenomenal, successful leaders. And also watch our new series. It's called Diversity Matters, which is going to air again on the 23rd of this month. And Gino has been on the show, Johnny Johnson as well. And our next is going to be Jamar Hardy, who does a lot of work in the Edina market of Minnesota. And so thank all of you. Please remember to join our Facebook page, share our episodes, and like our YouTube channel. And remember to always bring other women up the ladder with you as you climb to the top. Because when we do that, we all rise together. So again, bye-bye, everyone, and see you next month.
Adios.
Ciao, everyone.